Ghosting in dating, understanding the phenomenon and coping with its effects. Ghosting is a term used to describe the practice of ending a relationship or communication with someone suddenly and without explanation. While this has been a common phenomenon in the dating world for years, the rise of technology and social media has made it even easier to cut ties with someone without having to deal with the emotional fallout. While it can be tempting to ghost someone to avoid an uncomfortable conversation, it is important to understand the impact that ghosting can have on the person on the receiving end. Why do people ghost? There are many reasons why someone might choose to ghost another person. Sometimes it is because they are not interested in pursuing a relationship further and don't want to hurt the other person's feelings by telling them directly. Other times it is because they are afraid of confrontation or conflict and would rather avoid it altogether. In some cases, people might ghost because they feel overwhelmed or stressed in their own lives and don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with the demands of a relationship. The impact of ghosting on the person left behind. Regardless of the reasons behind it, being ghosted can be a deeply hurtful experience. It can leave the person feeling confused, rejected, and questioning their self-worth. The lack of closure or explanation can lead to feelings of abandonment and can make it difficult for the person to move on and find closure. In some cases, being ghosted can even lead to a loss of trust and a reluctance to engage in future relationships. Coping with the effects of ghosting. If you have been ghosted, it is important to recognize that the behavior of the other person is not a reflection of your own worth or value. It can be helpful to reach out to friends or family members for support, as well as to engage in self-care activities like exercise or meditation to help manage the stress and anxiety that can come with the experience. It can also be helpful to try and gain closure by reaching out to the person who ghosted you, but it is important to be prepared for the possibility that they may not respond. If you are the one who is considering ghosting someone, it is important to recognize the potential harm that it can cause. While it may seem like an easy way out, it is important to be honest and direct with your feelings and intentions, even if it is uncomfortable. This can help to minimize the emotional impact on the other person and allow them to move on and find closure. In conclusion, ghosting is a common phenomenon in the dating world, but it is important to recognize the potential harm that it can cause. Whether you have been ghosted or are considering ghosting someone else, it is important to approach the situation with empathy, honesty, and a willingness to communicate openly and directly. By doing so, you can help to minimize the emotional impact of ghosting and promote healthy relationships built on trust and respect.